Hey guys, Sensei DePalma here. Just gonna continue on with the series that we've been working on, which is basic self-defense techniques. So far we've done all in motion attacks. So what I mean by that is we've done defenses against pushing, punching, hooks, straight punch. Actually no, we have done lapel grabbing and shirt grabs, but we're gonna stray from that a little bit, and we're gonna start moving into a little bit more vital at-bay attacks. So we're gonna cover the guillotine and the headlock, which are very, very common amongst men. Men tend to get caught in these very often, and men tend to go after putting on these techniques very often. So I'm going to give you some really easy releases from these. And again, when your heart rate's up above 140 beats a minute, you're going to be able to remember these. These aren't things where you're going to learn them in a controlled, comfortable environment, and then next thing you know, you're going to be going, I was grabbed and I froze up. I didn't know what to do. These are techniques where if you can practice them, half a dozen, 10 times, something like that, you're going to have them down, and you're going to start seeing a theme here. I'm also going to tie in a piece that we brought in earlier in the series, which is the default setting, which is everything goes wrong. Our default setting, hands to the face. Hands always go to the face. If you find your opponent's face, you control his face, you're going to have some good success there. So I'm going to call out Sensei Omar Khan to come in. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to work a side headlock. Okay, so he's coming over here to my side and he's bringing a headlock on me. Very common amongst men. Okay, if you can, guys, you want to keep your posture up a little bit, right? So if I feel my head being jerked down, even if it's down this far, I can get some posture up, you see? And if I'm postured, that allows me to come here and take control. Now, I've seen this technique done a lot of times, and actually, most martial arts systems use this technique as a defense. I'm going to give you a couple spins on it that I think are vital. One, we showed earlier how you can drive your opponent's chin back. From this angle, it's pretty difficult. If I start lifting, he's pushing down, I can't get it. But if I take my pinky and I go right underneath his nose there, he's going to definitely be able to feel that happen. And guys, I'm not also opposed to you just taking your fingers and grabbing his nose and just ripping that thing back. I know that sounds brutal, guys, but sometimes we got to do what it takes in order to get ourselves out of a bad situation. So also, keep in mind we're in a pretty good time in life where a lot of people have hair, so we can also take their hair and bring their hair back if we need it as well. In this situation, we can grab their ear if we have to, right? But again, I would always be trying to aim initially for the middle of the face. Okay, so that's what we're going to do with our side headlock. We're going to have them come over here to the other side so you guys can get another view of this. So he grabs me in the side headlock. If it gets really low, we have other things we can do in here, guys. We can attack the groin. We can stomp on his foot. We can come here and attack his hand. We can do some different things. But in this case, again, I'm going to try to posture, which allows me to get in here and really just attack that face, guys, and rip that head straight back as hard as we can. Again, if he has hair, I'm going to grab into his hair, ear, anything that I can grab onto here, and I'm going to pull that back in order to get a hold of him. Okay, so that's a really good technique that you guys can practice today from the side headlock. Let's go to what some people call a front headlock, or in MMA terms, guillotine. Now, what I feel like are the differences between a good guillotine and a front headlock is that in a front headlock, we're not that concentrated on the choking aspect of it, right? Our forearm might be across their throat. We might be really cranking our bodies back. Where in a guillotine, your opponent's trying to put that thumb into your ear and pinch your carotid arteries and bring his hips in nice and tight on your body so that he can actually put a choke on you. Okay? So, again, one of the key things when your opponent goes to grab you into a guillotine is to get that posture up. You guys see how I move that posture? Because now that I've got my posture up, it's very difficult for him to continue to put me into that hold. You see where he's at? And I can reach this face. The more he stands up, the better I can reach into that face and attack him, okay? Another really good piece that you can do is when you feel somebody pull your head down, buck his head quick and move to his back. So he comes here to grab me, I buck his head and I move to his back, and now I can come in and take control of his face as well. Or I can put him in the rear naked choke, or put him into something that's going to hurt him. Now these nose attacks, he's paying for this afterwards. He gets to hit me in the back with that yardstick over on the wall after we're done. So, again, anyways, he comes in, he's going to put that guillotine on me, right? See his hands? Right before they're closed, I got my head up, right? So now that I got my head up, I can move to his back. And once I get to his back area, if I'm having a hard time reaching like I am here, I'll push on his lower back, which allows me to get to his back. I'm going to put that technique, which we call a nose lock, right in between his top lip and his nose. Again, guys, if you want to get rid of him quick, just grab his face and drag him down to the ground with it. Again, these are techniques that are much more animal-like, very quick. You want your reactions to really play in your favor. You want the fact that your heart rate is up to play in your favor. Remember, when you're in fight or flight or your heart rate's over 140 beats a minute, that's the time that you read in the news that somebody picks a car up off of their kid, is because they're worked up, they're in fear for their life or their family's life. You can either run faster or you can fight harder. And in this case, you want to make up your mind to be able to fight harder. So, quick recap, side headlock, right? We're going to try to keep our posture up so we can't break our neck down. Even if he tries to tug right now, guys, he cannot break that posture down with anything significant. Okay? Hands coming in here. I'm going to attack the face and pull his nose back. And that's what's going to help me in this situation. Now, if I want to just use it to get out or move right into move, I'm going to go to that. Guillotine, he gets it all the way applied this time, and it's a little bit tougher, right? So I'm going to posture that head up, and I'm going to come here and attack that face again. Okay? If I can get it before applied, it's always better. He comes to put the hand before applied, I'm going to buck my head, turn towards his body, and attack that face, right? If he's a big, tall guy, I'm going to drag him down by his hair, hook his face, collapse his back. I'm going to use techniques that are going to really work for me and show up. Finally, guys, last piece. What happens if everything goes wrong? Default setting. I'm going to show you guys the default setting from both positions. So he grabs me in a headlock. I go like this, and see how he's moving away? I get my head out of there, right back to his face. Right back to his face every time. I always find his face, okay? So one more time on that, right? I go like this. He moves his head away. That allows me to get my head out, you see? And now when he turns back into me, I go right back at his face. And I start running with him. I start driving him, okay? And the guillotine, same thing. I go here. I start to escape. I get my body out. He just stays with me. Boom, I find his face again. Always find his face, no matter what's going on. If you go after his face, get his head up, looking towards the sky, get these hinges on the back of his knees to collapse, and start running with him, you're going to be able to get him down every time.